Alright, we're talking about the final film in Phase 2.
It is Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. This also came out in, did this come out in 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah, this came out in 2015. Ant-Man.
This is my fourth favorite.
Yeah, we'll let you speak your piece in a second. But yeah, Ant-Man. If you guys watch my previous podcast, you guys know when it comes to the Avengers, Cap, Thor, and Ant-Man, I like the least. I thought they were ridiculous characters, and Ant-Man took the cake. I did not care for Ant-Man. I don't like Ant-Man. Now, he has a cool arc with Ultron for sure, but just overall as a character, I did not care for him. I thought his gimmick was ridiculous. Now, that's funny saying that because we all can buy Spider-Man, but
yeah, Spider-Man is the best.
Yeah, the thing is, Spider-Man is a more interesting character, and I can buy his overall gimmick better. But just, yeah, Ant-Man just didn't work for me. And also, it was kind of strange that they were going to have this be the closing point for Phase 2 Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. I always thought that was weird.
Yeah, that should have came, like, right before Age of Ultron. And I thought, he was going to play more of a factor with, the Ultron program, but no, they decided not to use it at all. And so, yeah, we're getting this film right after.
They didn't have the actors back then.
No, I'm sure at that point they already, signed the contract with the actors and already started filming. Because this came out a year after Age of Ultron. So,
what?
There was no excuse for that.
No, this came out...
I love
This came out like 2 months after Age of Ultron.
Oh, wait, did Age of Ultron come out in 2015?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's getting late and we're getting tired.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but anyway.
I'm getting tired, but not me.
But anyway, I just didn't know how this was going to work either. Once again, I just keep doubting Marvel, being like, you have these ridiculous properties. How is this going to work? How is this going to work? How is this going to work? I saw the first trailer for this film, and I was not impressed. Surprisingly enough, I was not
impressed.
I was not impressed with the trailers. And I think before this movie even came out, we knew that the director of this film was going to, at first, be Edgar Wright. A great, great director. You guys maybe know him as the director of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World or Baby Driver. Yeah. And there's plenty of other films that he directed that were really good. So I was really excited to see what flavor he was going to do with Ant-Man. But sadly, he had a falling out with Marvel because of creative differences, and he ended up leaving the project, which made me kind of sad. Because once again, it's reminding me of the Jon Favreau situation. Like, why are you putting restraints on these other directors, but then you're letting directors like
Shane
Black do whatever he wants, and then later on Taika Waititi with Thor Ragnarok. But yeah, it's just so freaking weird. Ryan Coogler was actually a blessing for Black Panther, which we'll get to next week. But yeah, I was so disappointed that Edgar Wright didn't stick to this project, and now the director that decided to replace him, Peyton Reed. That's right, Peyton Reed. I had never heard of Peyton Reed. I haven't seen his other films, so I was just kind of worried that this movie was going to be a mess because, like I said, it's like Edgar Wright, by the time he left, he already figured out the story, the main spine for this film, and so they're going to have another director work on the story that he crafted himself. I'm like, how is this going to work? I'm sure they're going to mess with stuff and toy with things. Like I said, the trailers just seemed like a tonal imbalanced mess. I don't know. And then who is Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. What in the world?
Oh my gosh.
Paul Rudd was a cool actor.
Yeah, when I heard that though, I was like, Paul Rudd you're having him, be a superhero? You're having him be Ant-Man?
He can pull it off.
I don't know, at that point I had only known Paul Rudd from Anchorman. So I'm like, you're having this guy do it?
Exactly. That's where I pretty much known him from. I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan of Paul Rudd, but Ant-Man, no, absolutely not.
He proved us wrong. He was great.
Yes, he was great. Overall, we like Ant-Man.
Everybody.
Yeah, I like Ant-Man.
Yeah, I like
We all love it.
I went into it thinking it was going to be so stupid. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no expectations for this movie because I know it's going to be just dumb. And I went into it and I'm like, hey, this is actually really cool. And oh wow, like they're being like funny with it and not taking it like too seriously. Because again, with this you can't like play it too straight when it's something that's this crazy. So I loved how they handled it. It was really entertaining. I was genuinely shocked.
So yeah, what'd you think about it, Colin?
So a friend said at school said, "Dude, how you heard the news? Ant-Man's gonna come." Listen, what Ant-Man? Listen, yeah. And I watched the trailer for it, and it was alright. I thought it would be like Hank Pym, but no, it's like another.
Scott Lang.
Yeah, it was Scott Lang with them. Shouldn't they do Hank Pym then Scott Lang?
Yeah, I was kind of scratching my head. Why didn't they do Hank Pym first?
Is Scott Lang actually a character in the comics?
Yes, he's the second Ant-Man.
Okay. Well, I mean, in a way, they did have a first Ant-Man. It's just that we didn't see it. They just except for like a small flashback or video or whatever that was.
Right.
I was okay with it. I mean, I'm sure since you guys read the comics, you wanted to see the original, but like they worked it in a way that like was fine because I like Michael Douglas. Yeah, you didn't see Wall Street, right?
Just a regular Wall Street, not Wolf of Wall Street.
No, just like Wall Street.
No,
starring Michael Douglas. He's great.
No,
he won Best Actor.
No, I want to see it at some point. I just haven't.
Oh, we should watch it for a movie day.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I was already a Michael Douglas fan, so I was looking forward to seeing him, kind of as like an older Ant-Man.
Yeah, I actually thought that was interesting that they made Hank Pym an older man. It's an interesting choice for sure. And then having Scott Lang being trained by
Mask of Zorro.
Mask of Zorro, exactly. Yeah, it reminds me of that, and I thought that was good. I thought Michael Douglas was good as Hank Pym a lot. I liked him a lot. And then you have Evangeline Lilly as Hope Pym, aka the Wasp. She's not the Wasp in this movie yet, but this is a good origin story for her. I liked Hope a lot in this movie.
Yeah, she's a great actress. She's on Lost. She's the main character on that.
Yeah, and I think possibly she ends up being the best character in the film to me. Just like she has the most development and the most emotional weight out of everyone. I mean, yes, I'm not taking anything away from Paul Rudd as Scott because there's a cool dynamic emotional dynamic that he has with his daughter that I thought was very nice. But yeah, just overall, I felt more emotional weight from Hope. But yeah, just overall, those three when they're together, I really like the chemistry and how they're working off of each other. At first, they don't like Scott because he's a thief, and he has his own crew of thieves with Michael Pena, David Malachian. I can't say.
They only appear in the half of the movie, the beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, and T.I. Yeah, T.I. was surprisingly really good at this movie. I thought he was just going to be wooden, but no.
Are they back in the sequel?
I hope they are. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
we know for sure Michael Pena is coming back.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because, he ended up stealing seeds, which is funny. I was sour on Michael Pena at first because I'm not a huge fan of his. There's a few things where I think he's good in, and I thought he was just going to be annoying in this movie, but he ends up being one of the funniest parts of this film. Especially there's this whole framing device that they used with him, where he's explaining what he was doing today or the previous day, where it's like, okay, so you see, I talked to this other person and he said this and that, and they actually show what happened. And the people that he's talking to he's speaking for them, and that whole cycle I thought was hilarious.
It was, especially with Stan Lee.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, I thought he was doing really well. Yeah, T.I. and David, they're good. They don't have as much to do as Michael Pena, but I still thought they were good additions, and I do want them to come back for the sequel because that overall team works well together. Mm-hmm. So you have Scott being like a master cat thief, and he stumbles across the home of brilliant scientist Hank Pym, and he catches him in the act. And apparently he sees something good in him, and he knows about his daughter, stuff like that, and how he's trying to get custody or at least be able to see his daughter, but doesn't have the money to, support. So he tries to help him out with that, trying to get him away from his life and crime, and actually, has him trained to be the new Ant-Man, because he used to be Ant-Man when he was younger, and now he's training a new person to be Ant-Man. And he wants to have him steal the technology from his former co-worker / partner, Darren Cross, played by Corey Stoll. Corey Stoll, I don't know too much about him. I haven't seen him in other films, but I thought for the first 3/4 of the film, I liked him as Darren Cross. He reminded me a lot of Obadiah in the first film, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing, which we'll get to later. But I liked his motivation and development that he had with Hank Pym. You can see, I can actually understand I can understand where he's coming from, where he feels like that Hank Pym's taking all the attention for the stuff that he's created, even though Cross helped with the technology, or he's trying to trying to get the teachings from Hank, but he refuses to do it. So I could understand that frustration and why he wants to try and steal his work and take the fame for his own, because he feels like he was have that opportunity taken from him, from Hank.
His motivations are a little, I can get behind his motivations a little more than some of the other villains in the movies that we've talked about lately. He's not great, but he's not bad either, He's better than some of the other ones lately.
Yeah. Let's talk about the interesting parts where they actually put on the suit and he shrinks and stuff like that. The way they utilized the suit in this film worked a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Oh yeah, it was so cool just how they did it.
Yeah, just how he's interacting with the bigger world once he shrinks, and just how he's maneuvering through obstacles, and so that's the one thing. The physics we'll get to in a minute, but just overall, I just liked how they're able to be creative with being small, which led to some really entertaining fight scenes. And also, the suit is able to have him communicate with actual ants like they do in the comic book, which I thought was going to be stupid, but I actually kind of liked it. It was
It was cute, and he made a pet named
Anthony.
The joke of the day, Anthony.
Yes. Oh man, the movie with he has a pet flying ant named Anthony, and I'm taking this seriously. And I actually felt bad when Anthony died.
So was I. Yes! I know. I couldn't believe I was actually taking this shit seriously, but I was. I don't know. They just did a good job of drawing me in, being oh yeah, this is sweet. It's ridiculous, but you're doing it in a way where I can get behind it.
Exactly.
It was super sad, bro. Anthony. They made it miserable for us. They especially made it miserable for the watchers. They reeled it in oh hey, this is just an ant. It won't die, but. And it ends up replacing him in the next movie, which I am super mad about.
Anthony the Second.
Anthony the Second.
Oh, really? That's what it's called?
I don't know, but it would be awesome if they did.
I hope they do that.
Anthony Jr.
Yeah, your father been killed by an evil. Yeah, your father been killed by an evil madman. But don't be sad.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna die too. So I'm not gonna like you.
But anyway, I liked in the very beginning. They had a little, a prologue with young. I don't know how they did it. A young Michael Douglas.
Oh, that CGI was fucking flawless. That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm like
him and Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
That scene was great.
I'm like, man, it's like they actually took footage from an old movie and used it here because I couldn't point out.
It's like they went back in time and got a younger Michael Douglas to shoot a scene.
Mm-hmm. So it is possible, Disney. If you gotta use it for episode 9, please use it for episode 9.
Please do it.
Because I'm looking at this, I'm just like, dang, that looks real.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Wow,
really good effects on that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Going back to Hope real quick. You can. That's one of the reasons why I think she was the best character in the film, because not only you get the most emotional resonance from her, but you can tell in the back. Everyone can tell that she was more capable of piloting a suit than Scott, and it's like she wants to actually help and actually use the suit, and cause she was trained too. So she just wants to feel valued, and it's like it's a similar situation what Cross is dealing with, because he feels like he's being held back by Hank, and so is Hope, and so I like that conflict that she was having with his dad, being like why are you holding me back? Why are you not letting me pilot a suit? Like it's not fair. And then we see the backstory with when Hank was Ant-Man and his wife was was the Wasp at the time. He lost his wife on a mission when she went subatomic. Yeah, which we'll get to in a second. But I thought that overall dynamic was very heartbreaking for sure. And definitely Evangeline Lilly is that great of an actress. It's just like you just feel the emotion just coming out of her. Yeah, for sure. I like the whole training montage that Hank had with Scott, and Hope helped along the way. I like the whole training aspect. Sometimes the training montages can be hokey. Like everyone talks about the greatest montage sequence in Rocky, which is a great sequence. But it's like, I'm a sucker for those montage sequences of trainings, just seeing how they become better, which is something I wish they did in other films. Last Jedi. But yeah, so I thought that was cool. Things that bothered me, the humor worked 80% of the time.
80%. We usually say 90%.
Yeah, this is 80% because there's 20% of the movie where you feel it's kind of weirdly placed. Mm-hmm. Like you could tell it wasn't supposed to be there originally, and I feel it's because Edgar Wright left before he could actually finish the project, and they're using the story that he wrote and trying to maneuver things around. And I felt just certain places I could tell things were changed here and there for humor purposes. And which brings me to the editing. I felt some of the editing was a bit jarring, where they just cut awkwardly in certain scenes. Like when he's trying to suit for the first time and he's freaking out, and he tries to put the suit back and stuff like that. It's like the way the film was edited that way, just cutting to that. It just felt kind of weird. Off-putting.
That's why they have bonus scenes.
Almost like, nope, I can't do this. Cut something else. Like, you don't let a scene breathe at all. You just do it to something else. Now I get that they're trying to do the comedic editing where they cut very quickly. But for me, I just felt like it just certain scenes needed more time to breathe and flow. But it just that awkward jump cutting here and there.
That's why they have bonus scenes.
And then we get to the big yellow jacket.
Oh,
Yellow jacket.
yellow jacket, yellow. I hate those type of bees. I mean, I hate them so much.
So okay,
I thought it
so
was kind of cool. What's wrong with Yellow Jacket?
okay, so when I said that, he reminded me of the good and bad qualities of Obadiah in Iron Man.
Ironmonger vibes.
Ironmonger vibes, because like I said, 3/4 of the film, when he was just being the twisted businessman, just outsmarting them and pulling strings. It's working, but once again, his overall, his sense and his plot goes out the window. Well, actually, it's not as insane as Ironmonger, but once again, it just took me out because once he puts on the suit, first of all, he puts on the suit way too quickly because he puts on the suit in the middle of an action sequence on a helicopter. For comic book logic, so
yeah, I remember that. It's like turn away and then turn back. All of a sudden, he's in the suit.
like what? Yeah, but once he puts on that suit, it's like, oh no, I'm an evil bad guy. I will kill innocent people. Fear me. Yeah, Lily. In a snap of a finger, he just turns into a villain, and then
He's getting into character with his costume.
Stop it! And also, they wanted to put in this little plot point real quick before stuff gets crazy. Hey, there's something that's corrupting your mind, some sort of like residue from technology or something like that that's corrupting your mind or something. I think there was an invention that he made. Oh, to create the suits, I guess, because they were using some sort of like technology that they used to make the suit shrink because there's a specific thing that they needed, and I guess that was kind of corrupted his mind.
Whose mind?
Cross. Like they say that at the last minute, like, dude, the whatever it was, something's corrupting your mind. I don't know.
I don't even remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like because it just comes so sudden. Like, what? It's like out of nowhere. I think it was some sort of like, I don't know. It was some sort of like science tube or something, some sort of gas. I don't know, but it's like. That was corrupting his mind at the last minute. And I'm just like, what was the purpose of that? So you'll be able to have us buy the fact that he puts on a yellow suit at the end and goes all crazy? Sure, whatever. Before I get into the big action sequence with Thomas the Tank Engine,
Thomas the Tank Engine.
I want to talk about the daughter and the.
You forgot about the fight scene against Falcon and Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll get into, we'll get into that too. So I want to talk about the daughter and the stepdad, I guess, or the dad-in-law. The daughter was actually really cute. I like the daughter a lot.
It's like the bunny scene, like some. Here's an ugly bunny. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Isn't he just divorced?
Yeah, divorced.
So that's like his actual daughter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really cute. I don't buy that the mother is Judy Greer. I'm sorry, no.
They're both great.
Wait, what? I forgot.
Judy Greer is a comedic actress.
Yeah.
She's a mother.
No, I remember her.
Oh, you remember her? Oh.
In Jurassic World. I don't remember her in this movie.
Oh yeah, she was a mother in Jurassic World, but yeah, she was a mother in Ant-Man too.
Wait, you don't buy her
as a mother?
As a mother? Why?
Because, like I said, I've seen her in other comedic stuff where I couldn't really take her as seriously. And it's like these other two roles, they wanted me to take her really seriously. So maybe it's just the fact that I've just been overexposed by her comedic stuff.
No.
So that's why it's just kind of bothering me. But, she wasn't bad. Yeah, it's just like, don't know. I don't buy Paul Rudd and Judy Greer having a child. I just no, especially that pretty girl. She was a pretty girl, pretty little girl. But yeah, she was really good. At first, I didn't like the stepdad, the dad-in-law, Bobby Cannavale as Paxton. He was just a douche at first. He was just like unnecessarily being a douche, and it's like I get, her actual father's a felon, so you don't want him to set a bad example for the daughter. I get it, but at least you should know that Scott comes with good intentions. He's not doing this. He's trying to support his daughter, and I just wish he was a little bit more sympathetic and just instead of just being the douche cop or detective being like, "What are you doing?" It's like, you're setting a bad example for your daughter. Why are you a thief? If you
Did he die?
No.
Oh, for some reason I thought he did. That would have been cool though.
Yeah, it would be cool.
But yeah, he started to come around towards the end, so that was.
He arrested Scott.
Oh,
you're arrested.
we
You're
gotta talk
arrested
about the,
because you're the Ant-Man.
We gotta talk about the subatomic thing.
Yes, we do gotta talk about subatomic.
That thing was scary. It was like a cool concept. That's like scary to think about it.
So apparently, if they shrink small enough, they'll turn into freaking DNA, and then they'll eventually go into this portal of nothingness into another dimension,
where you just like keep shrinking
till you don't exist anymore.
To like infinity.
What if you grow
like
larger?
infinity. Yeah.
What if you grow larger? I heard if you grow larger, you go to another dimension. I think.
Well, they didn't really establish that.
Yeah, they did. In the old Avengers symbol, in the old one, Hank Pym's Ant-Man actually grew, and then he went into a different dimension.
Well, maybe we'll see it in future films, but yeah, they just want to stick with the small stuff because it's called Ant-Man.
Well, not Giant Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Get it, Giant Ant-Man?
It's Giant Man.
No, Giant Ant-Man. It's Giant Ant-Man.
Giant Ant-Man.
Because
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
I never thought of that. Giant Man.
Because ant is in the word.
Oh my
Giant.
Giant Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Is that what we gotta call a sequel now?
Yes, you have to.
Giant Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anyway.
But yeah, that's like scary because you would like keep shrinking to infinity because like matter can't be destroyed, so you would never actually become nothingness. You would just become like so small that it would be almost nothingness, but you wouldn't be nothing.
But
you would still
if you
exist.
grow,
So that's like scary.
but if you grow, you grow up.
Yeah, basically
and
the same
then,
thing, just other way.
But your body's gonna be still on the ground, but your head will be like in another dimension.
I don't know how the physics and that's gonna work in this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Universe.
But he did it in the old Avengers symbol. Well, why didn't he do it in the movie?
Because the physics probably wouldn't make sense in this movie.
I mean, he will grow until his head reaches the other dimension.
But again, how's that gonna make sense in the film?
I don't know. Maybe they just rewrite it since when you get to another dimension, his feet go up and up and up into the other dimension. But it seems like his feet is on the ground, but it's not really his feet.
But yeah, speaking of the physics, that's another thing that's kind of bothered me. The physics in this film are not consistent because they establish like when you shrink, you still have the strength of being, regular sized.
Yeah.
But because we see when he first shrinks in like in the bathroom and he falls, he freaking makes a crack in the floor. But then you have other scenes where people can just swat him like a fly, like there's no weight to him. That's not consistent. And then you have freaking when we'll go to the Thomas the Tank Engines. Well, actually, no. Let's go to the Falcon scene. Even though
Falcon is cool. He literally said some. Listen, I don't care if you save the world. I just care if you break into this Avengers properly. Get out my lawn.
So that's another good way to have Avengers cameos in this movie. It does not stop the film to be like, hey, we're in the same universe. This actually plays a part in the story. So I was fine with Falcon being there.
And soon they become buddies, and he will call him Tic Tac because Tic Tacs are expensively small.
Yeah. Ant-Man took down Falcon for a second.
He did.
Yes. And then you cut to the scene with Thomas the Tank Engine where they're just lightly throwing the toys like they're like huge or something, but
they shouldn't, like, when the Thomas grew, they should have played the Thomas theme like dun 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 dun.
copyright.
Oh, that is.
But yeah. So and when they okay, let's talk about the overall fight sequence from the helicopter to that house. It's a really cool scene and very creative because you have them fighting in very unique places, like inside a suitcase or in by a Venus flytrap and or electric flytrap.
And spoiler, Yellow Jacket actually died, but
Hold
didn't really die.
on. You jumping way too quick.
No, I'm not talking about when he actually died. I'm talking about when he hit the lamp.
Oh yeah, when he swatted him at the electric flytrap. Yeah.
Some I'm dead, but not really. Oh.
And then they fight at
The little girl's house.
Little
Like the
girl's
girls are hiding in the closet. Like, help me.
and it's like, yeah, they fight on the freaking Thomas the Tank Engine track, which I thought was one of the most creative fight scenes they've done in Marvel for sure. Which is weird to say
But you
because
can't
like,
top
you haven't
Doctor
seen anything like this
Yeah.
before.
You can't top Doctor Strange though. You cannot.
We'll get to that next week. So I thought, yeah, just for them being able to, for them shrinking and, like playing with the environments, like you haven't really seen anything like this in a Marvel film. Let alone, I don't know if I've seen anything like this since Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Listen, what?
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was really good, and it reminded me a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that overall sequence was good. Even though going back to the physics, when they accidentally grow the Thomas the Tank Engine toy, I don't know how it's able to destroy the house since technically the weight would still be there to still be light as a feather. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It shouldn't be able to. It's just like larger in size, but it's still like this. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
People should like pick it up like it's like 1 pound.
It shouldn't be any more like. I don't know.
Because like that thing is like made out of plastic and stuff, so it's like it wouldn't be enough to break in the house. If anything, it would probably break when the toy itself would break when it grew inside the house, I guess. But I don't know how the.
It's just Marvel movie. Just go with it.
No, just go.
Should have destroyed the house. Yeah, it should have like broken or maybe dented up the walls and
Into the
crap.
walls, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just me. But it's like, yeah, when we start talking about the physics of this film, our brains will melt.
Yeah.
Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp, man, I was like, oh, goodness. That physics in there is going to be weird.
I mean, I saw like a trailer when, little like pop things? Like,
Yeah, the pest dispenser.
yeah.
They should not be able to wheel away the house, the building.
The building.
We're going to talk about this. I'm sure
they did.
They shouldn't be able to because it's still like,
1,000 pounds.
Yeah. It's still like extremely heavy, like tons.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it's just a smaller weight, so it should be like a massive, like, heavy brick stuck to the ground. You still shouldn't be able to pick up.
Exactly.
It's Marvel physics. Just go with it.
Oh,
No, but be inconsistent.
Be consistent.
Go with it.
We cannot go with it when Marvel establishes the physics in this movie, but then they're inconsistent in this movie,
Just think
which is
about-
inconsistent to both of those films in this movie.
Just think about the
Just because
Doctor
it's
Strange
smaller
physics
doesn't make it any more movable.
and the
It's still
Tony Stark
immovable.
physics together. Then
This
you
is
got
not
your
Tony
answer.
Stark physics. This is
I
Marvel.
know.
We don't give a crap physics.
Marvel, we don't give a crap physics.
Yes. But it's like, really, I know this is a Saturday morning cartoon, and it's like, you suspend your disbelief, and you're supposed to not think about it too much. It's dumb. But just like, when this is in the same universe as other stuff that actually cares about the physics and like how stuff works, it has to be consistent in that universe. You can't just break the rules because you want this to be just a Saturday morning cartoon and dumb. It's like, if you're going to be dumb, be smart dumb. Like, be consistent. This is a universe. You have to abide to the rules of the universe.
Wait, wasn't there like still people in that building?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll have to find out when we
Like they will kind of break. Like, did the humans like shrink, or they will break the building? Like, did the people shrink with the building,
Yeah.
or they will break the?
everything in the building shrunk with it. Yeah.
So yeah, I hope nobody was in there. Be like, oh no, it's moving again! Oh, I'm gonna die!
Or they could just act completely normal. Oh, we're used to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Assume your positions.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But actually, if they drop it,
Everything's
everybody will
bolted
die.
down in the building.
Exactly.
They got special like seat belts on their chairs, so that the chair's harnessed down. They're harnessed in the chair, so when it's moving, they're good.
Yep, exactly.
But what about all the equipment?
I don't know. All that has to be bolted down.
Bolted down.
I don't know.
Bolted down.
We'll have to find out.
When
I don't
we're thinking
know.
about it, you see how dumb this is? When we're thinking about the physics, this is the thing they have to work on, Marvel. I know these are fun films, and you don't want us to think too much, but it's like, once again, call me crazy, but people like to see consistency, But that's just us. Is there anything else you guys want to mention about this film?
Wait, did we talk about the ending yet?
No, we did not.
What part of the ending? Which one?
I don't know. Just like the
end
fight.
credits.
We talked about the
Fight and the ending.
Fight.
I mean, yeah. Overall,
And
there
the
was a
plot.
cool scene where in the Thomas the Tank Engine fight, it was like there was a scene where Thomas was about to run over Yellow Jacket, and it just cuts him away. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Some-
Wait, how did he die again?
Ant-Man like break all his stuff, and then he like shrunk, like his body shrunk, like pulling in like some.
So pretty much, he had to go borderline subatomic to go into the nano parts of his suit and destroy it from there, which causes like a ripple black hole effect
Wait,
in
why
his
didn't
suit
he-
to make his body shrink and contort and like disappear inside the nano parts of the suit.
I mean, what? Couldn't he just took off the chute?
Wait,
Well-
so did he get sucked in?
Yeah, he got sucked in.
Couldn't he just take off the chute? The suit?
In his own subatomic field, I guess.
Couldn't he just take off the chute? That would be the smart way.
That would have been
to
too late.
Too late.
He didn't know what he was doing.
He didn't know what? He didn't know he was.
He didn't know what he was doing, so by the time he even thought about taking off the suit, it would have been too late. So,
I mean, couldn't he just take off the helmet, and then his body would be super small, and his head would be super big, and then he'd fall over,
I don't know.
and then he'd just be a head.
Physics.
Yes.
It's all over the place. But yeah. Yeah, anything else?
Little
you wanna mention?
little Nenomorphs. Legs.
Well, overall, I think that's all we gotta say. I think
Wait,
that's-
no. We had to talk about the end critics.
Well, I'm about to get to that. Let me do. Whose podcast is this?
Yours.
Okay, so let me do my thing. We'll cover everything. Promise. So, yes, talking about the end credit scenes. So the first credit scene, Hank Pym shows that Hope has this, she has a suit, and of course it's the Wasp suit, which sets up for the next film.
Which is gonna be even better.
Yes. And then the final end credit scene is actually a clip from Captain America: Civil War, where Steve and Falcon was able to capture Bucky in a warehouse, and has his arm stuck in like a contraption from a factory, I guess. And
then there's like some big scene, like they say some stuff, like some people will have to get you.
oh yeah, we have to get some people for a job, I guess. And it's like, we don't have anybody to call.
Or some, I know a guy. Like, I know a guy that I previously fought and lost. And I didn't mean to tell you because I got pummeled.
Was that scene in Civil War?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a callback to. I don't know if this scene was kept in the movie because I saw in the trailer, but Hank Pym says to Hope, "I know a guy," so that's supposed to be like a callback to that, I guess. So that was cool, I guess. I enjoyed Ant-Man. I can't say this is one of my favorite Marvel films, but this still ended up being better than I thought it was going to be, regardless of the Edgar Wright situation. It's a solid, installment, but it's just wasn't that impactful to me. It's just it felt a bit dumb, and there were some editing issues here and there, and there's some humor that doesn't fit. But overall, I liked Scott, and I liked Hope, and I liked Hank, and I liked the daughter. So the characters enough helped me get through the film. And I look forward to seeing what they do in the next film, even though I hope the physics are better in that one, which they probably won't. They're going to be more stupid. But
I mean, with some trailer, they carried a whole building in a suitcase.
Yeah, if it's crap like that, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, just those type things are just keeping me from saying this is a great movie. But overall, I had a fun time with it. It's an innocent film. I give it a solid B. Colin.
I give it a C.
Say what?
A C plus.
You give it a C plus?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Okay. Not feeling it as much, huh?
No.
I see. Captain Eagle.
This movie really surprised me. I really enjoyed it. It was like one of the most unique movies in the franchise for me. I just like the concept, like they try to have like some sort of science behind it, despite it being ridiculous, So I don't know. I just found it really interesting. I like the characters. Yeah, so I thought it was really good. I'd give it a B plus.
Okay.